If I had a rupee for every single time somebody requested for a review of the OPPO Enco X2, I'd probably be able to buy one right now. Hyperboles aside, your wish is always my command. And if you don't know me yet, I'm Ershad, you're watching Trakin Tech English, and this is our detailed review of the new OPPO Enco X2. Now, starting with the design of the case, not much has changed from the preceding OPPO Enco X, except for the fact that you don't have this metal strip running along the sides, and this case is slightly chunkier now. Basically, the X2's 38 design has more batter now. I really cannot stop making that reference. Karadiga tonight. Anyway, the case continues to be glossy and attracts scratches over a period of time, which I noticed with the OPPO Enco X as well. In fact, I would suggest that you pick up the black variant instead, because it is very difficult to keep off the earwax and the grime that accumulates over a long period of usage. The co-created with Dynaudio badge of honor has been carried forward from the OPPO Enco X as well. It looks really good. And there's this metal hinge that holds the lid and the base itself, which is very sturdy, and it also helps you open and close the lid with one finger in one swooping motion, which is one of the very good things about this case itself. Now, removing the buds from the cavity inside the case is actually very easy, as you could see right now, and the design of these buds are very similar to the AirPods Pro, especially considering that new black patch indicating the left and the right channels. Anyway, the fit has been fantastic for me, and I use the largest tips inside the box, and you shake your head, you work out with it, it's not going to fall off from your ears. At least in my experience, it hasn't. And apart from that, you also get support for IP54 rating on the buds itself, which means that these can be great workout companions too. But you see me, do I look like someone that works out? Obviously, my jokes are terrible, but I hope my content is not. So please don't forget to hit that red subscribe button and support our content, and maybe even hit the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever we put out an awesome new tech video. And for the sake of the YouTube algorithm, maybe even hit the like button and comment below, because then YouTube serves this video to more people looking for, OPPO X2 review. Now, the stem this time around is pretty tiny, and it has all the controls mapped on it with pinch commands. Basically, you can pinch this stem to play, pause music, or even change music or accept calls, all of those things. Now, unfortunately, in my time with the earphones, the pinch commands are not very intuitive, primarily because my pudgy fingers couldn't actually press them easily. And then, I just ended up using the, play pause controls on the phone itself. But that's not it. The OPPO Enco X is really cool feature where you could swipe up and down the stem to, increase or decrease the volume. That continues to exist, but it has taken a very weird shape and form right now. And I don't really know why OPPO had to go ahead and change that. Because right now, if you want to increase the volume or decrease the volume, you can't do it from here. You have to actually do it from the front face out here, and that's kind of very weird to do if you ask me. Therefore, overall, the controls have become slightly more unintuitive and clunky. I wish OPPO could have continued to use it the same way as the OPPO Enco X. Anyway, you can configure the earbud controls from the Hey Melody app on any Android phone, or if you're using an OPPO, Realme, or a OnePlus phone, then that's built in within the Bluetooth settings itself, which I think is very handy. Now, talking about the app and features, the OPPO Enco X2 is loaded with it. Starting off with the fact that you get support for every single high-res codec out there apart from AAC. You get support for LHDC and an update added support for LDAC as well. And that's not it. You can change the codec from within the app itself, and you don't have to fiddle around in the developer settings like sometimes you have to when the Bluetooth settings doesn't showcase the high-res codec available. It's actually very conducive, and in fact it can also show you whether your phone actually supports the high-res codec or not, which is very, very useful. Plus, there's game mode for low latency and a feature called golden sound, which actually tunes the audio based on the shape of your ear canal. And then there's a personalized noise cancellation available as well. Plus, there's an earbud fit test, which tells you whether the earbuds are fitting you properly or not. But I saved the best for last, and that's dual connection. Yes, OPPO Enco X2 has the same really cool feature that was introduced by Realme in the Realme Buds Air 3. Basically, you can connect your laptop and your phone at the same time to the OPPO Enco X2. So say, for example, if you're playing a video on the laptop and you get a call on the phone, the audio immediately switches to the phone itself, because it intuitively realizes that that's where the sound needs to be at the moment. And you know what? In my time with the device, it worked pretty well. It's almost as good as how the AirPods ecosystem works with, the Apple devices. So when it comes to features that you expect from a premium truly wireless buds, the OPPO Enco X2 packs more than every single flagship truly wireless earbuds out there, which includes the, Sony WF-1000 XM4, which includes the Galaxy Buds Pro, which includes the OnePlus Buds Pro, every single one of them. I know I've kept you waiting for a long time, but features are one part of the equation. The reason why the OPPO Enco X2 is actually a killer product is because of its sound tuning. First things first, you get a couple of drivers inside each buds in a coaxial setup. The main driver, of course, is a dynamic driver, and the secondary driver is a planar magnetic one. Now, for those who don't know what planar magnetic drivers are, I'm pretty certain you know what dynamic drivers are, but for planar magnetic drivers, you'll need a special explanation. So I'll add a link in the description below because that will be another video altogether. Now, it goes without saying that the OPPO Enco X2 sounds the best with Android phones because you get support for high resolution codecs like LHDC and LDAC. Plus, there are a few equalizers as well, which are predefined in nature. But the predefined equalizer settings are kind of funny because, the Enco X classic sound signature sounds the best of the lot and not really the Dynaudio Real or the punchy or the simple and clear one. Essentially, what I noticed is that the Enco X classic, EQ setting makes the Enco X2 sound really wide and open and airy compared to the dark and wheeled sound of something like the Dynaudio Real. Now, coming to the sound signature itself, it's a balanced one with a slight lift to the bass and the treble to make it sound more fun and engaging, unlike a very neutral, flat, kind of boring sound. And the quality of treble response on the OPPO Enco X2 for a pair of truly wireless earbuds is particularly very good. Where other more expensive truly wireless earbuds bungle up the sound of the hi-hats in, Steely Dan's audiophile favorite Do It Again, the distinction between the ride cymbals and the finger cymbals are reproduced with consummate ease on the OPPO Enco X2. It sounds absolutely divine. Basically, all you need to know is that the treble response on the OPPO Enco X2 is fantastic. Add to that the bass attack. It's not voluminous, but it is so good. I mean, the way the X2 maintains the timing with the bass slams in a very complex track like by Thundercat, at the same time when all the other cacophony of instruments are playing, it is commendable. Almost when I was listening to it, it gave me goosebumps. The only issue that I did face with the sound signature is the fact that sometimes the upper mids kind of sound shouty in nature, and that can get a little, fatiguing. That apart, the imaging and the instrument separation and the sound staging is the best I've heard on a pair of truly wireless earbuds and this side of wired earphones per se. When it comes to sound fidelity, wired earphones always offer better sound compared to wireless earphones. But with the OPPO Enco X2, just like I felt with the Galaxy Buds Pro and the OPPO Enco X, is that these products, especially the OPPO Enco X2, can rival some of the best wired earphones in this price range, and that's truly high praise for a wireless product. Now you must be wondering, so Ershad, is this the best sounding truly wireless earbuds out there? According to me, in my opinion, yes, I like it better than the Galaxy Buds Pro. I like it better than the Sennheiser Momentum Truly Wireless 3 and even something like the Sony WF-1000 XM4. But then again, sound is subjective. Take a listen for yourself if you get the opportunity to, and then make a call accordingly. But I'm pretty certain that you will end up liking the sound on these. They're actually extremely detailed, extremely heavy on resolution, and the kind of sound clarity that you get from it is not available on cheaper truly wireless earbuds. Now, coming to the active noise cancellation, according to OPPO, it has improved and you can now reduce 45 dB of environmental sound from the ANC. But what I noticed in my testing is that it's not as good as the AirPods Pro or even something like the Sony WF-1000 XM4. It's good enough, and I used it in a flight as well, but I felt that the AirPods Pro was better. And the transparency mode is decent enough. I don't use it that much. If you guys do, let me know in the comment section below. I'll be curious as to know when and where do you guys have a use case for something like the transparency mode inside truly wireless earbuds. Now, the game mode on the OPPO Enco X2 reduces the latency to 94 milliseconds, but if you're a serious gamer, I would suggest that please go ahead and use wired earphones instead, because 0 ms latency is anytime better than any latency. Now, there are 3 mics on the OPPO Enco X2, and OPPO says that you can use it for binaural audio recording using the Find X5 and the Find X5 Pro. Unfortunately, we don't have those phones, so I couldn't test that feature out. But the quality of the mics itself during calls is, again, it's not that great. That is something that I've had a problem with most truly wireless earbuds, except for the AirPods Pro. This one's okay. Jabra and AirPods Pro are better for calls at this price range, not the OPPO Enco X2. Now, as for the battery life, in my testing, it lasted about 4.5 hours with LDAC on and about 70 to 80% volume. It's not the 5 hours that OPPO gets with its LHDC codec on, but OPPO also tests it at 50% volume, so maybe you can get a few extra minutes more. Plus, if you're using in high-res mode, which I would suggest that you use it in high-res mode if you're not worried about, Bluetooth connection dropping, which it doesn't generally with LHDC or LDAC, which is definitely a good thing. So if you're using it in high-res mode, then you can get about 20 hours of extra charge from the case, which is about 3 to 4 charges depending on how accurate that is. This is not the best battery life by any stretch of the imagination for a pair of truly wireless buds, but it is good enough. Now, what I noticed in my time with the OPPO Enco X is that the battery life has kind of held up, but a lot of users have not had good experience as well because the battery life deteriorates. But then that is the truth, or that is the fact about truly wireless earbuds, because these are ephemeral products. You buy them once and the batteries are going to degrade at some point and you will have to replace them. You cannot change it, meaning that you will have to replace the entire product itself. You cannot really change the batteries inside because they cannot be really opened and changed. So that's something that you have to keep in mind for most truly wireless earbuds when you're buying them. So clearly the OPPO Enco X2 is a top tier truly wireless buds, and they're also priced really well at about 11,000 rupees. And I think that even if it was about 15,000 rupees, it would have been totally worth it. That's how good they are. Now, I know that the Galaxy Buds Pro also looks like a very enticing option, primarily because it's much cheaper now, but it doesn't support high-res codecs like LDAC and LHDC. It only supports Samsung scalable codec, so you need a Samsung phone with it. Yet it does sound very good, but I think that the Enco X2 does sound slightly better. Also, more importantly, there are certain elements in the construction used for the Galaxy Buds Pro which are causing some ear infections, so that's something that you have to keep in mind. So therefore, overall, I think that the Enco X2 does beat the Galaxy Buds Pros, but if you want to save some money, maybe you can pick up the Galaxy Buds Pro. Now, the Enco X2 is also competing with something like the OnePlus Buds Pro, but the OnePlus Buds Pro is purely a pair of truly wireless buds created for bass heads. It's really good with the bass. It's extremely big on bass, but I think that this is more balanced. I think this is more suited for a wide variety of genres, so I think you should pick up this one over the OnePlus Buds Pro. So what do you guys think of the OPPO Enco X2? I hope you guys liked our review. I absolutely loved using the product, and I think this is going to become my primary truly wireless earbuds for on-the-go music. So that's it from me. Until next time, this is Aishad signing off. Keep tracking and stay safe.